Hey, what's up, stock compounders? Brad here. So I want to do a little experiment on this channel. I want to do a Crowdalyze experiment with SRG stock, Seritage Growth Properties. Sort of a collaborative crowd analysis of Seritage Growth Properties. This has kind of started happening in some of my previous videos where I've talked about SRG, but I want to make it explicit in this video. And I want to have all of the resources that you guys have been sharing around analyzing SRG. I want to put them all in the comments associated with this video, kind of a master tracker of all of those links and resources that you guys have been using in your own analysis of SRG. I got a message on LinkedIn recently from one of you guys, one of my YouTube followers, and it was a really thoughtful kind of analysis breakdown of SRG. And I'm going to reach out to that individual and see if we can include that in the comments. But it's really fun, the idea of kind of attacking an analysis on a company from a crowd approach. Obviously crowdfunding has really taken off. It's a really interesting model in terms of getting a business off the ground. And I think a lot more can be done in the space of analyzing investments in terms of a collaborative approach of doing that. But that's really the premise of Value Investors Club, where these really smart investors submit investment ideas, and then there's a discussion section where other smart investors come in and try to pick apart that thesis, punch holes in it, go deeper, ask intelligent questions around it. And I think we have a real opportunity here with a lot of you who follow Mohnish Pabrai. I mean, that's one of my most potent keywords on this channel. I think probably because I used it early on and there wasn't a lot of competition for it. A lot of you who are following Pabrai have found my channel, which is awesome. So there's that kind of like mind in terms of value investors who are able to critically look at these different investment opportunities. So specifically, I really want to kind of pool resources, articles that you guys have read, maybe talks, other YouTube videos around a couple key aspects of analyzing Seritage growth properties. The first is how to value the land, how to value these properties that are owned by SRG. And not just the current value, not just the book, certainly not just the book value, but what they would be able to get for those properties in a distressed kind of situation. If they need to raise money in order to, make those interest payments on the debt to Berkshire Hathaway, or to meet those fixed operating expenses, what would they be able to get for those properties? So kind of the land values, if they had to sell at depressed prices, not just because they had to sell fast, but because of what we might be heading into in terms of our economy. It seems like these stimulus payments are starting to get pulled back. Obviously, a lot of people have lost their jobs. The future is very uncertain in terms of the economy. And, obviously, Pabrai really likes these bets where there's high uncertainty, but low risk. And it's really low risk because the price is so low compared to what the value of these assets are. So that's my sense of what Pabrai is seeing in SRG. There's high uncertainty, but there's low risk. And, I'm hoping we can really reverse engineer what Pabrai is seeing in SRG that makes it low risk. And a big chunk of that is valuing the land and what it could be sold for at depressed prices. The second piece is you know, what kind of cash flows are they going to be generating 3 to 5 years from now? You know, they've redeveloped some properties already to try to get more value out of the rents. But, you know, there's still redevelopment in the pipeline. So, you know, how much is that going to cost to redevelop those properties? And then what kind of rents are they going to be able to bring in? And obviously that's not an exact science. It's going to be kind of a range, but it'd be great to kind of pool different articles, different talks, whatever resources you guys have found in order to be able to predict, to project what those cash flows are going to be 3 to 5 years from now. So those are the two kind of big nuts that I see that need to be cracked with SRG. What can they sell the land for if they need to? And what are they going to be able to bring in terms of rents 3 to 5 years from now? So I'm going to link to Phil Towns' recent, I think it was a Q&A that he did. He got asked about what he thought of Mohnish Pabrai buying, you know, a 12.5% equity stake in Seritage Growth Properties. And he shared, you know, here's what I would do to assess the investment quality of SRG at this time. And he basically laid out those two things. What's the land worth? And, you know, well, what he said was, how much rent are they able to collect during this time of the pandemic? You know, there's the rent that they were collecting. How much has that rent taken a hit because of what's happening with the pandemic? So let's do this as an experiment. Let's share what we've found in terms of formulating a tight investment thesis around SRG. And I want to make sure that the people who are bearish on SRG also have a voice in this process. It's really easy on social media channels. You know, I've seen it a lot around Tesla, where you get someone who's talking about how high Tesla is going to go, and everyone in the comments is also bullish on Tesla. So you get this, you know, this bias, this consistency bias, where everyone thinks the same thing. And I want to make sure we have people who are bearish on SRG are also giving their 2 cents in the comments about why they're bearish and kind of supporting that position. The most recent write-up in Value Investors Club on Seritage was from 2018. I think it was November 2018. And I think just 2 weeks prior to that, there was actually a short thesis on SRG. So, you know, that's certainly worthwhile to dig into as well. I want to make sure we have a balance because, you know, as Ray Dalio has so eloquently stated, if you just have people around you who think the same way, that can really get you into trouble in investing. And Warren Buffett has mentioned that that's an issue with Warren and Charlie, that they think so similarly, and so it's easy for them to miss things, right? Because they think so similarly, and so those blind spots can easily overlap. And so that's why I just want to invite anyone who is not excited about SRG, just sees too much risk of losing money in SRG, to also, you know, voice up in the comments. And I promise to defend you against, you know, anyone who's already plunked down a bunch of money on SRG from kind of attacking you because, you know, they don't want to look at something because they already have skin in the game. I want to make sure that doesn't happen. I really value that diversity of opinion in terms of what's going to happen moving forward with SRG. So let's do this as an experiment. It may fall on its face. I don't think it will, because I've been excited to see how much sharing of resources there has already been, not only in my Seritage videos, but Investing with Tom is digging into SRG, and some of you have posted on his videos, kind of sharing what you're finding, what you're digging up around the investment thesis of that company. So let's do it as an experiment. Let's see where it goes. I'll start things off by putting a few of the resources I found recently to help us dig into the investment thesis, and we'll just take it from there. So I'm excited to see what comes out of this. All right, guys, I will leave you with that, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video. Take care.